wonderful people. Can I do the
Do it.
wonderful?
Do it.
Hello, my wonderful talents. Welcome to Profitable Talents. I'm Alessia, and this is
Jacopo. Today we're going to talk about content, social media content. The 4 types of content that attract your client, make them fall in love with you, and make them want to work with you. So let's start. We've got the perfect story to talk about content in this regard, because the other day we went to a party and we spent a long time chatting with this person. This person was an artist. I'm talking about one of those artists that actually made it, right? And I was so fascinated about his story. So we pretty much spent hours talking about him. At the end of the conversation, we came to the conclusion, what do you guys do? We explained that we help people monetize their audience on social media. And he said, social media. I don't have any following on social media. I'm like, really? Because I've been entertained for 4 hours about everything you do. I'm pretty sure people will love what you have to say. But he says, yeah, but I tried a few things, it didn't work. I mean, okay, I said, stop there. Let's start from the simple concept of, what do you want your content to be watched by? Who do you want to attract? And he immediately said,
rich people. Straight to the point, no doubt whatsoever. And I loved how incredibly clear he was on who he wanted to attract.
No BS, I want to inspire individuals. No, it's like, I want rich people because I want to sell my stuff. Brilliant. That was immediately clear. I said, okay, great.
And also, he wants commissions that he doesn't have to worry about the money.
Yeah.
So he's not going, am I going to get the material? Am I going to have time? Am I going to have enough to pay off the bills? None of that BS. Straight to the point. Love that. So that's point 1, really. Be clear.
But then I asked him, what did you do in the past that didn't work apparently? And he started saying, I started just posting on social media, on Instagram. I started posting pictures of my art with the hashtags. He kept going on and on with the hashtag thing, like it's something that you found in some blogs about how to grow on Instagram or something. But it didn't really work, he said. Like nobody really cared, didn't have any interaction. And I thought, just stop saying hashtags for a moment, because he was going on and on about these hashtags. This is not about the hashtags. It's about everything else that you've already implemented in the conversation that we've been having for the past 4 hours that you're not realizing you can apply on your social media. When people ask you what you do, what is the first thing that comes to mind?
It's funny because, first of all, I was a dancer, so there was that wanting to communicate with others in a very different way. That was always my thing, like the communication. Especially when English wasn't my first language, I needed to communicate. And so I was trying to find this interaction with others. As a dancer, I was trying to find that interaction with a different language. It was the body language. It was a connection with the audience. And with this connection, it's funny that you're asking me this, because now that we are transitioning and we are growing this profitable talents, the things that I'm most passionate about is communication, and especially how to find that connection with people by being a human. I don't know why, but whenever we talk about social media and whenever we think about how to interact on social media, we forget to be human. So what I'm trying to help people with is how to interact on social media and be human and being yourself, which is the hardest thing you can do nowadays, being human and being yourself.
Which is exactly the problem that our artist person, that we're not going to mention name, had. He didn't have that connection. And then we just explained how he did all of that in a one-to-one conversation with us. What did he do when I asked him, please tell me more about your job? He didn't show me pieces of art that I probably couldn't care less if I didn't know who he was. He started saying, well, when I started, I didn't know anything about anything, so I just did that. And that was a funny story about how he started. And then he went on and on about the things that he was pursuing, didn't quite work, but then found something that really sparked joy, like you like to say.
That was sparked joy.
And then the more he was telling us the story, the more we were drawn into the stories. And of course, he's a an extroverted person, he's a very funny guy, so he's really entertaining, and that was it for us. We were bought. I started dreaming about having a piece of art in our house from him because of all the stories that are attached to it, because people buy people. He's been sharing for us himself. Didn't try to sell us anything, it was just genuinely sharing what he was passionate about. So to summarize, what we got out of the conversation was that we fell in love with him because of his personality, what he accomplished, his philosophy, and his why, basically. And then they can say, well, but what the heck does it have to do with content on social media, right? How is this useful? Well, I'll tell you how is this useful. The main thing we found out on content, especially when people started contacting us and say, I want to work with you, is only when we hit 4 types of content, so they come to us already ready to start getting things going. And the first type of content that we all do is how-to content. Like, you were a ballet dancer, you wanted to teach to everybody that moved, please have a better posture. Oh, you have that problem with your knee, please do this exercise. We are drawn to teach because we know how to fix people's problem.
I think it's the very first thing that you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
I know how to do certain things, so I'm going to be teaching someone how to do certain things. For example, for me it was literally how to do the split, how to get your legs high, what muscles you need to use in order to be injury free, what exercises you need to do to have a better posture. So all these how-to is we share our knowledge, we share and we teach whatever we have inside, and you say, I just need to give it to someone. That is usually first step. Step 1 of anyone creating content is how to do specific things. Even how to tie up your shoes.
It's still going strong,
Still
that video.
very strong.
Because it's useful. But useful videos will only get you to be liked and respected. But that don't necessarily make you an authority in what you do, especially if you want to get hired. So there are 3 more types of content you should create. Well, the second type of content you should create is sharing your story, your behind the scenes, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You should have, I'm sure you have a ton of stories that made you, right? Not just the good ones, the one that you succeeded, the bad ones as well, because we don't want to hear you being so special and then getting everything right in life. Nobody does. Nobody's perfect. We all fell short somehow.
But let me be clear. Telling your story does not mean that you have to tell your everyday life. I've always been a very private person, and I've only shared certain things about my life and how I conduct my life every day. It's a very different way to share your struggles and how you overcame them, or your way of seeing the world, because you might have pushed through certain struggles in your own way and got you somewhere. That is the best way to tell your stories. The way you started, how it went, and what the outcome was. And if you're still working on the outcome, perfect. It's still content that you can share with your people about your journey. But that doesn't mean it's like, oh, I wake up and I wear these sneakers and then I shower myself this way, or it doesn't have to be so get into your private life. Whatever.
Such a vlog style, influencer style.
I don't show myself eating cereals. Let's put it that way. But hey, it's everyone's choice, and so you do you. Because any piece of content that you create has to spark joy. Marie Kondo style.
Like, for example, we share our story on how we started our first YouTube channel. We worked on that channel for many, many years before it even took off. And the first product that we created did not sell, even if we had 10,000 subscribers. And we had to figure out how, and then eventually we did. And that's why we're doing this thing, so that we can make you avoid some of our mistakes. But the stories that you should tell in your content should be relevant to what your audience is interested in.
Interested in.
I got it right! The story will just bring the point home from you. So don't just tell, also show with stories. The third type of content we found really is important is for people to know what your method is. Because it's always great to show our accomplishment. Look, we have 200,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel. Well, are you gonna help me or not, and how? We wanna know the how, because if they know the how, they will perceive that this type of achievements can be achieved by them as well if you show them the steps. Your method is basically your steps to success.
And sometimes your method is taken for granted by your own self. So try to put down every single step that you take, why you take certain steps, and why you put them together like that. Because I always put into practice, or I explain what I do with my stretching method, which is a stretching method that I have created because my body needed a specific path to loosen up. But it's funny how you told me, but you've got a method.
We had to sell a workshop about flexibility, right? And when we were writing the sales page, I immediately thought, this is all sounding great, but people are immediately thinking, in my opinion, I tried stretching, it didn't work for me. So if they already think that your method looks like somebody else's, that maybe they've already tried, or maybe they believe that it's not for them, they're not gonna sign up. So if you show your method, and I asked you, what do you do when you teach these techniques? And you walk me through your method, we were able to group them into 3 main stages. We gave them specific names so that people understood the mechanic and the biology, the science behind it, so that then when they see the method, they say, oh, I've never seen this before. This looks thought out. It's not, let's stretch and hang out. This is actually deliberate. I want to try that. And so many people signed up almost only because of that one. So don't neglect the fact that you should show your method, because that's what makes you stand out from the crowd.
Or maybe ask someone to say, do I do anything in specific that you see a pattern that I constantly use in the way I work that I can put down? Talk to someone, see it from a different point of view, explain it to someone and write it down, because that might be your method that you didn't even know it existed or you were aware that you had.
And if you don't have any friends, like I sometimes feel like, this is a super complicated way to do it. Pen and paper, and imagine you just got hired by someone with a specific result. Now, I want you to write down every single step you would take with your client to get to the desired result. Even if it takes you 10 steps, write them all down, then see if you can group those 10 or 100 steps, it doesn't matter, into 3 to 5 main stages, steps, whatever. And that's your method. You've got it, you've got one. Have a look, try it. Then the fourth type of content we found it's incredibly crucial if you want to get hired and get rich people gives money is to tell them how. Like actually tell them how they can work with us. Not just here's the link, go and click it. It's more like how would it look like if you hired us today? So the point of this is that if people already know what to expect when they see your content, they know that you've got a core program, for example. We have a program to help people craft their offer and launch it. It's a one-to-one coaching program. It's application only. So if you go to the website, you need to apply for it. And we've got 3 different types of payments. It's a self-study, it's a done with you, and it's a done for you service. So if you work with us, this is your options. But what happens afterwards? Afterwards is we jump on a call, we assess the current assets, we strategize a blueprint for your launch, and we go on from there at your own pace. You can get us available in a Slack channel, you can book as many coaching calls as you want, so you already know what to expect when you hire us. Hang on a minute, this is exactly what we do, so I'm doing it in a way that you also understand what it looks like if you wanted to hire us. You should do the same in your content. Make sure people, if you're a coach, if you're teaching people how to do something, how to learn a new skill, what they can expect when they work from you. You're not gonna just wing it. You have a system, you have a path, and you know what you're doing. This is what they wanna know. And of course, These are all of the types of content you want to create, but also make sure you interweave your story in each of them, because at the end of the day, we want to relate to people. This is the era of AI, where anything can be faked, anything can be scripted, rewritten, even I can change my voice, I can change my appearances. It's a dangerous world at what we're creating, so let's be human.
The human interaction is what we're craving as human beings. We've always been creature of a pack. We are a pack. We are always in communities. We are trying to help each other out. And as such, even on social media, if you are creating a community, remember that people are looking for people, and to have that support and constant support from you as the leader and everyone else in the community supporting each other. This is what people want. So you interact, talk to them, message them, have DMs, have chats, not just thinking about what should I say now to close the deal? What should the script be to have a conversation that will lead me to a sale? Don't think any of that. Have a normal conversation with the person and say, how can I help you? Are we made for each other?
Be interested.
Exactly, be interesting. Is this relationship really going to work? Because at the end of the day, even if you're working with your client, it is a super duper relationship, and you have to like each other. So from the very beginning, whatever you do with your people, be human, be you, find a way to talk to them and forget about a script.
The topic of this video was all about content, which is the first pillar of our method. But our method is made of 3 pillars. The first one is discovery. It's content. What type of content will attract our ideal clients?
Who are you? What are you saying? What messaging? What is your branding? Which is not just the color of your website.
No. The second pillar is nurture. What type of content that's maybe on the back end, like email nurture or content, long form content to nurture people in the middle of the funnel. Like once they discovered you, how do they fall in love and get acquainted and get warm with you? The third pillar instead is how to craft incredibly irresistible offers and how to process the sales in a way that feels natural and get people results. So that also get testimonials and it feeds back into your content, and it's a virtuous cycle. All of this information, we packed it all up into a free masterclass you can watch. If you follow the link in the description box below, it's free. You just need to register and you can watch it immediately. But before you go, there's one thing we want to make sure you're not falling into: the trap of getting overwhelmed and burnt out creating content. Content should be natural, shouldn't be a chore, shouldn't be something that you have to do just because people told you to publish 1 video a week on YouTube. If you're hustling and grinding all day, it's just gonna burn you out. So if you want to get out of that loop, I think we found a way and we made a video about it. And
here it is.
Here it is. Please watch it now.
Cheesy.
But it makes me laugh. Doing this stuff, it makes me laugh.